All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the World Championship Series here for Challenger in Europe. As we've concluded 3 series already, and so far Team Liquid are looking good. They want to make it 3 for 3 though now, as we go into their 3rd member, going up against quite the fearsome opponent, but someone who equally similar to you. I think you guys dubbed Harston one of the gatekeepers of the Premier League.
It wasn't me.
Well, definitely wasn't you.
No,
it was somebody else.
Don't put this on me.
Okay, but it will be Marine, who is in a similar position, but for Challenger. Let's take a look at game number 4 here, as Rhett will be going up against HeroMarine. And HeroMarine has been in Challenger and lost in Challenger almost more than any other player I can think of. He's been here 4 times, and unfortunately for him, he's lost all 4 of them.
Yeah, that's probably a record, and that's not really a record you want to hold.
No.
I mean, it's great that he keeps making it through the qualifiers, because those qualifiers are not easy. I look at the brackets in Europe, and it's just, if you see the amount of players that they have to go through, they look very tough to me. I was actually talking with Thermal, one of the players we'll see tomorrow, and I was talking with him in Shenzhen. I was like, oh yeah, you made it to Premier League again, congrats. And he was very relaxed about it. He's like, yeah, I don't think those qualifiers are very tough. I was like, man, he's got some confidence. He's like, yeah, I pretty much always make it through. He's like, I'm not too worried about, you know, those qualifiers. But if I look at it, I think any player that makes it through the qualifiers in Europe, I mean, then you already deserve to be there, because that's not something that you get through by an easy bracket or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, of course, HeroMarine, he's got that young blood in him once again, similar to how we saw Cyril in our previous series here in Europe. He has been a champion, actually, nationally.
An EPS champion, guys.
An EPS champion. Now, of course, known
basically
as
a GSL champion.
Basically, according to some people, yeah. And, of course, I have to throw this in there. It's now known as the Meister Shaft. As we get into Rhett, of course, who has always been hit and miss. Season 2 for him here in WCS was kind of the revival of Rhett almost. Yep. He hadn't been here for 1.5 years. So now, here going into Season 3, he absolutely needs to prove that he can hit the consistency button.
Absolutely. People often look at Rhett and be like, yeah, he was good in Brood War and he may have had some success early on, but have never been that impressed with Rhett. And that's just wrong, because in 2011, Rhett basically won the most prestigious European tournament back then, the European Battle.net Invitational, which happened in Poland, the same country as our Season 3 finals will be happening. That was a great tournament, one of my all-time favorite StarCraft 2 tournaments. 8 players made it there, and it was awesome. Rhett was able to win it, and a couple months later, he won another tournament back then in Finland. So 2011, and even in 2012, 2013, Rhett had multiple top 4 finishes at DreamHack, Intel Extreme Masters. He has really been an absolute top player in StarCraft 2 as well. But then early on, Heart of the Swarm, he couldn't really get it together. And a couple moments, he had a couple good series, but he was never really able to make another deep run, a memorable run, until Season 2 last season. That's finally like, hey, it's a little bit of old school Red magic that we got going on over here.
For me, it's really about, for this series at least, can Marine overcome this hurdle that has been in his way for 4 Challenger seasons? Because he's hungry for it, so hungry for it, his opportunity to try and prove himself in Premier. He's kind of one of those stories similar to Marine Lord, where we always kind of tout his prowess. We always say, he is a really good player, guys. Promise, we trust us. But he hasn't been able to prove it on the big stage. Can he overcome that? Let's get into game at number 1 now between these two, as we have Cactus Valley going to be our first map. And it will be spawning up to the top right-hand corner, our blue Terran. Indeed, representing Mousesports, it is HeroMarine. And then down to the bottom right, we have a countryman of yours, I would say, in our lovely LiquidRet.
I would say so as well, James. No matter how much I love the United States of America, I will always be Dutch.
Oh,
no, it's going to be a great series, but I'm a little bit worried for Rhett, and it might be weird because, you know, Rhett's doing great. He came off a great Season 2 performance. Why would we be worried about him going up against HeroMarine? Sure, he's a good player, but if Rhett is in shape, he should be able to get this job done, right? Well, with Rhett, like you said it, and I think I couldn't have said it any better, it's sometimes a little hit or miss. And after that great run at Season 2, I spoke with him a little bit in Toronto, and he's like, are you going to Homesteader Cup? I was like, yeah, of course, it's always fun. He's like, yeah, I'm going to sit this one out. I was like, what? I was like, you're finally doing great. He's like, yeah, I think I need a little bit of a break. I was like, you're doing great now, man. Like, why,
Keep going.
yeah, why do you take a break now? And he did sit it out. He's like,
Yeah.
just too many events. He did go to DreamHack Valencia, where I think he did pretty all right. And he may even defeated Petit Drogo 2-0, which I think was a great victory for Red, because Petit Drogo doesn't really lose a whole lot PvZs in Europe. So Red still showed us some great signs at Valencia, but he's going to have to bring his A game today, because, like you said, nobody wants to hold that record that HeroMarine. Now you put it in my mind, James.
Sorry, buddy.
Is currently sitting on of losing multiple seasons in a row in Challenger.
Yeah, it doesn't help that Marine's in both of their names.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
exactly.
man.
That's why I was giggling. You're like, he's a little similar to Marine Lloyd. It's like, it's just because of the name, right, James? I think it would be really funny if both of them just played Protoss as Zerg, you know?
Oh, God. Like Protosser, like Several's brother?
Yeah.
Oh, my God, that guy.
Call yourself Protosser and play Zerg.
Yeah. Oh,
You know
dude.
how many people had wrong build orders in the start of the game because you read the name, you're like, oh, I'm playing as
Oh,
Protosser.
great, yeah.
Let's go Forge Fast. Well, that would actually work, but yeah.
Wow.
Let's open double guess.
Speaking of doubles, we're getting double hatchery before anything here, as he did sniff out the fact that it was a command center first opener from HeroMarine, so at least he'll be able to deal with that. And before anybody gets angry at me somewhere, I am going to eventually call him Marine, because he also goes by the name Marine and HeroMarine. So, yeah. There you go.
Or you could just call him Hero, and then we have 3 heroes.
Heroes. Oh, no, please. There's enough heroes out there.
You know, if I get a dog, I'm going to name him Hero. I think it's a great name.
If
You know, if you have like a badass big dog, and you
Yeah.
just call him Hero. Like, I can
That'd
see-
be pretty sick,
Yeah,
actually.
I
Yeah,
know.
that'd be pretty sick.
Like, you know, you get
Don't you have a dog?
No, not anymore. Like, I want to get a big Akita, and I want to call him Hero.
okay.
I think it would be awesome.
Okay.
Me and Hero cruising down Cali. That's the life, James.
That'd be pretty awesome. That would be pretty awesome. Well, HeroMarine is scouting out everywhere. I don't think with his SCV that he sent down towards the south, he actually spotted this overlord. I thought he may have done, but it seemed... Wait a minute. Why is it chilling out there, of all places? Well, I guess he knows now exactly where he is. But, yeah, he mustn't have seen the overlord flying in down towards the bottom. So, yeah, just scouting out every location.
I'm really excited for this. It's our first ZVT of the day. People love watching ZVT. I love watching ZVT. I think it's always great, especially when we get a couple of long, drawn-out games. Like the first 8-9 minutes in these matchups can be a little bit dull, talking about in-game minutes. But after that, as soon as Terran, you know, has Stim ready, as soon as those first medevacs are out, as soon as those first Widow Mines starting to wiggle down the map, and Zerg is going to try to go up to 4 bases, that's where I think things get really interesting in this matchup. And just looking at the way that Red has gone up to 3 bases now, I kind of wonder where he's going to take his 4th base. It could just be close to HeroMarine, but the 4th base is often... There's always that moment where the hatchery is going to tank some damage. If you build it that close to the Terran, it could be hard for Red to defend his 4th base if he takes it at that, you know, what is it, 4, 5 o'clock-ish position. But taking it all the way on the left side could also be a little tricky. So I kind of wonder, what do you think he's going to do?
I think he might try and tuck himself in, but it really depends. I mean, you've got to have good creep spread, right? You've got to be really, really active on the map and making sure that you can just truly defend and lock down from that. But for now, we'll end up locking down. We'll HeroMarine, should say, with his full front wall. Did he spot the 3rd command center? Yeah, he did.
Oh, Red already saw it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he did, man. That's
Did
good.
good.
Actually, didn't think he saw it already. May have expected it, but spotting it this early on, that's really going to give him a peaceful state of mind to go with for now as well. We just see 2 Hellions, nothing else at this point. Maybe those. Well, he has 2 more Hellions cruising on the map, but it's no 6 Hellion or even maybe Hellion into Armory, anything crazy like that. It's going to be a very passive opening so far for HeroMarine.
So I was wondering, kind of analyze this for me, Roddy, because normally when I see HeroMarine play this matchup, very aggressive, very in his opponent's face, very much so wants to do big damage early on. This, from HeroMarine, is an extremely greedy opening. Triple command center, double engineering bay. But isn't this kind of playing to where Ret wants the game to be going?
Yes, but in a way, it's also playing against Red. Red not really known to be the guy to go for a Roach Banal in, right? So you can be a little greedy as Terran. But, you know, it goes 2 ways. One, HeroMarine is going to get a great economy. He's going to have a great start off. Things will go his way. On the other end, yes, indeed, you are playing a little bit into Red's strength, because we know, you know, no matter how old Reds get, I think even if Red, you know, enters his early 40s, he's still going to have great multitasking as soon as he has 80+ drones and he has 4 bases. He is just a very fast player, and Red loves it. Like, anytime that Red can make it into the base where facing the game where he has 3 bases, where he has Baneling speed, where he can get his first Mutalisk out, Red would always sign for that because he loves to play from that position. So I do agree with you.
Well, we're into already the makings of a potentially longer series if they want to go this direction throughout the entirety of it. And Red's very unlikely to deviate, and likewise HeroMarine, if he feels confident in this kind of playstyle, we'll see. This will be the start, really. I mean, this game is going to prove a lot to HeroMarine. Either can he hang with Rhett in the long, big macro games, or he just goes back to some more aggression. Red
takes his fourth base all the way on the left side, so it is very far away, but I do kind of agree with this one, though, because I really feel otherwise one bad fight and he's going to end up losing his fourth base over here, and now it's going to be a lot harder for HeroMarine to put a serious amount of pressure on it. Red sneaks a bunch of Zerglings to the top side of the map, but these Hellions caught a glimpse of it, so we'll be able to chase it down for now. I think it's a smart call by Red, and I'm happy to see that he went for it.
Sadly
Look at these upgrades, by the way, there. They're all so close to each other. 1-1, 1-1. 4 upgrades complete at the same time.
Perfecto. And he's actually getting himself some creep spread going over to the right-hand side. And Pneumatized Carapace is about to finish up as well. So these Overlords, or these ones in particular, can get themselves a full scout off. Even though he sees the amount of Marines that are at the front here for HeroMarine, he knows what he's playing against. It's just kind of gives him a bit more peace of mind to know that he can spot things.
Yeah, I feel the only downside to HeroMarine's opening has been that he couldn't really keep his Hellions on that side of the map for too long because he had so little at home that he kind of wanted to keep them at home. Also didn't want to end up losing them because then he might be forced to evacuate his third for a while and he's going to take a big economic hit. So now these Hellions have really done nothing to contest the creep pretty much, and when you give Red freedom, not particularly known for his creep spread, you know, not TLO Scarlet levels, but he's damn good at it as well. Once again, Red's multitasking has always been on point. And now he's got 3 active paths, or you could even say 4, because there are 2 paths going to the middle, of him spreading creep. And, you know, 1 or 2 of those paths are really going to escalate.
Yeah, damn right. That's very, very true. The one to the right-hand side, while this being is cleaned up, I mean, the Queens could have been out there, even pushing it a little bit harder. So he's definitely taking advantage of this, spreading those creep tumors back towards the middle from this angle towards the 4th base. Beautiful stuff by Rhett. Marine, though, he's going to start his aggression very soon, loading up and getting good to go. Even Hellbats potentially in the mix for when it comes along.
Interesting, because HeroMarine is throwing up 2 more additional factories. So we're probably going to see a bunch of Taurs making their appearance to this battlefield as well. That's going to be cool.
Yep, just dealing with the eventual go-to of Lingbane Muta here for Rhett, as these Marines going to stim on in here and get themselves a few Queens if they could. Another also cleanup crew going to go into the middle, and there is a big wall there to try and deny that, but the Banelings have already been morphed in towards the top. He's actually launching in an attack here from 2 sides. This is going to be crazy.
Yep, he's not going to get a whole lot done in the natural, I think, but maybe over here. That's a great wall of supply depots. It's going to force a bunch of these Banelings to be blown up on depots. The bunker will survive, so I really think this went well for HeroMarine. Red threw away a lot of Banelings. He has a couple Zerglings still active in the natural, so that's nice. That's pretty much the only damage that he's done so far with all these Banelings, but he didn't end up losing his 4th base. Has to be careful with the Mutalisk, though, of course.
Ling's going to get cleaned up, and these Lings are going to wrap around up towards the top as well here. Unless he's paying full attention, he might actually lose all of this because the Mutalisk is already working on the Medivacs. One of them's going to try and boost out, but that is a sitting duck right now. There's no way it's going to be able to get away. Tries to unload some of the Marines to help on out, but it will fall. Big drop into the main here, though. Double medevac once again from HeroMarine, looking to hit 2 sides at once. Lynx come back to try and help out. It's not that easy, though. And Widowmine with splash damage is going to kill off one of the medis.
Yeah, that was kind of funny. I'm always very happy to see when that happens. When I'm personally playing against Terran, it's like, yeah, take that little bit of friendly fire. I couldn't have killed it, but I'm glad you did, sir. 2-2 is going to finish up here for HeroMarine.
Oh my god.
Red only got, okay, he actually got +1 missile attacks during that all as well. That's kind of interesting.
43 Banelings are morphing in. 43 Banelings. That is quite the number. Rhett here looking to power out with this macro.
Did Red queue the wrong upgrade? Well, let's just analyze that after the fight, as there are a lot of Zerglings and Banelings looking for great connection over here, but there are a lot of mines. I'm not sure if Red can close out the game here. I actually don't think he will. Well, there were 40 more. Oh my god, that Widowmine, if it would have shot at the Banelings, that would have been...
train!
Yeah, that would have been so sick.
It's never ending! They're just going to find their way all the way to the middle line, killing off 10 workers instantly. There was 43 of them reinforcing, and they just plowed on through, crippling some of the economy here at the 3rd base. They're going to kill off even more supply depots burning down, and HeroMarine has got to scramble for some kind of resolution.
I mean, the HeroMarine is up in army supply right now, and that's something that he can definitely work with. But once again, Red has +1 missile attacks. He doesn't have a single unit out on the map that's actually ranged, and he didn't get +2 armor. I feel that, was that a misclick then?
Must have been. Must have been. Neon needs to find himself a good little bit of wiggle room to eventually, wow, there we go, the infestation pit on the way, and eventually transitioning on. You would love to get this going even further, but you're right, without having +2 carapace, that's a bit sad for him.
He's going to start +2 flyer attacks instead for now, so these mutas are going to be a little bit stronger. Takes a 5th base as well, all the way on the left side. And you know, Cactus Valley is a map, it goes 2 ways. It can be great for medevac drops, but by now there is so much creep spread, there is so much map vision for Red. Like, we can just press V from Red's point of view, and you can just see, like, how is he going to get surprised? Red is not going to be surprised anytime soon. He has so much map vision. While if you take the same look at HeroMarine, HeroMarine sees so little. If he doesn't have any units out on the map, he actually sees absolutely nothing, and that's a big downside of playing a massive map like Cactus Valley. The vision that these creep tumors give is almost as important as the additional movement speed.
Yeah, right now, I feel that you need to put a bit more pressure on Rhett in the early stages of the game to really capitalize on, I think a lot of people would say, his weaker point in the game. But, well, for now, Marine is still going to hold on. He's got 3-3 on the way. That's the big, important aspect to this game that we need to focus on right now. Because if that completes without +2 carapace even beginning, Rhett is going to start and try and think he's starting 3-3 when that high finishes, and then he's going to say, damn it.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes a huge difference. The only thing that's good for Red is that he's not a stubborn Zerg. He's not a Zerg that still didn't drop an infestation pit despite having money for it. And he's just going to work with 2-2 for the first 27 minutes in this game. He actually has his hive pretty much finishing up. So Red is going to have pretty reasonable upgrades as well. Because in the old days, it was often Zerg would just stay forever on layer attack. And then eventually 3-3 Terran would just be too much to deal with.
And cleaning up a little bit of creep towards the middle here are the Marines. As he starts 3-2, and that's the sigh goes over Rhett. It's a little bit demoralizing to actually have to do that, but you know now you've just got to play a little bit of catch-up, and that 3-3 full window is going to be a little bit longer here for HeroMarine.
He's going to go for Adrenal Glands immediately. He doesn't have an Ultralisk Cavern yet. I wonder if he's going to throw one down. He's not poor, but he's also not extremely rich. There's going to be a drop, by the way, on his 5th base of Red, and that one was completely exposed. And this is the good thing again about Cactus Valley being such a large map. It takes a little while before most of these Zerglings made their way over here. Yeah, and I mean, soon HeroMarine is going to have a field day with +3 Marines against +1 Carapace, Zerglings, and Banelings.
Yeah.
You don't even need to split anymore. You can just A-move.
This is going to be pretty brutal, but HeroMarine's time is now. I mean, he's setting himself up economy down towards the bottom right, but the further he starts expanding out, the harder it is on a map like Cactus Valley because of the previous mentions of how big it is. These Marines towards the right, 3-3, kill off some Zerglings, and now they're pushed through the middle. He doesn't have that many Marines here at the moment, actually.
Yep. Has a bunch of Widow Mines, has a bunch of Taurs. But yeah, the Marine army is surprisingly small. He has 45 Marines on the map, but I don't, they're kind of just scattered all over the place. Some of them are dealing with Overlords. I mean, Red has done a really good job in making it very hard for HeroMarine to stabilize on 4 bases. He does finally have that command center down at 3 o'clock, but it's not very saturated yet, and it's also extremely exposed. There's so much stuff happening on the map, and I think Red is just doing a really good job in slowing HeroMarine down.
At the same time, I mean, there's still 140 Zerglings on the field. They need to get themselves a really good wrap around.
Wow.
Woo.
Trader Mines.
You gotta be a little bit careful about that. And rest supply blocks. Marine's still going to take this slow. He realizes that these counterattacks are slowing him down, and that's a really good move by Rhett to make sure that HeroMarine isn't powering on with the 3-3 advantage he has.
Yeah, but it's pretty much do or die right now, I feel, for HeroMarine. If this gets cleaned up, you don't just replace an army of 3, 4, 5 Taurs. The Widow Mines are not burrowed, at least not all of them, so Banelings actually roll into this army, kill all the mines immediately, and even the Taurs took a lot of damage.
And kept some of the Marines at the back, though. 82 links still persist. There's a lot of damage being done towards the mineral line, but at the same time, that is going to be cleaned up eventually.
Current APM for Red for the last 30 seconds has been 500-600. I don't even know how that's possible, but it has been. HeroMarine. There is so much happening around the map, and that's normally where Red excels, though. He doesn't have the upgrades on the Ultras that he would love to have, but most of these stores are so low on HP. This army is more medevac than anything else.
Yeah, picking up an ass to get out of there. Some of the Widowmines still persist through the middle of the map, but they're looking to chase them down. Drops the Thor on the ground, making sure that it's not going to die off straight away to those Mutalisks. They over-pursued a little bit there, but now this fourth base is the bastion of hope here for Marine. He has to keep this one alive.
Man, great game already. It's kind of what I expected of this series. I really did think it was going to be pretty evenly matched. And it feels like Red is in control of the game, but one very bad fight and things can definitely swing into the favor of HeroMarine as well, especially now that he has this, that fourth base finally secured.
Drops the scan, sees the extent of his opponent's army and knows exactly where it's moving up to the top left. So he's going to pick up, drop, and his army's still looking phenomenal. And as Kindness playing approaches, I mean, you mentioned it before, not being done, but the closer that gets to being done, the less the Marines are going to do. And how many... wow, okay, so he has 12 Marauders, which can actually slice up those Ultras pretty fast.
Kindness plating is almost done, so that's going to help. But Red doesn't have +3 army yet. He didn't start it either. +2 has finished up for a while, and +3 attack has finished up for a while. He has 18 Banelings morphing somewhere, probably defensive, while he's going for another run by over here. Red has been making sure that this is a very frustrating game for HeroMarine as well. Red is like, you want to play a late game, mate? Let's do it, man. Cactus Valley, large map, run-bys all day, every day. This is what I love.
Yep, sending some Marines into the fifth base as well. Getting a lot of drones. They've only just transferred over here, so they will be cleaned up very, very quickly. Kills off 12 instantaneously. These Marines are still going ham. Somehow, some way, they were still getting kills, but at the same time, Bailing's over to the north and even killing off some of them on these Marines. They were looking for SCVs, but yeah, there's nothing there.
First world problems. You've killed all of them, Red.
And whoa, he actually got the full base over here with this drop. So as you said, there's tons of stuff going on, and I'm not Funker, guys. Sorry, but I'll try.
There's only one.
There's only one Funker. All right, well, sending back all of these units now. How many Ultras do we have? 8. So it's quite beefy, yeah, quite tanky, but the numbers of Marauders are building up quite considerably.
Yeah. And with Ultras, the last thing you want to do with Ultras is just chase medevacs. That's not really what you want to do. I think sniping this 5th base, that was very important for HeroMarine. It's still going to be extremely hard for him to ever go up to 5 bases. I'm not sure if he even plans that far ahead. I kind of feel that he just wants this one fight where he gets a good setup, where he gets a good concave, and that he forces the Ultras that have one armor upgrade less than they're supposed to have, you know, to take an engagement they don't really want.
No, the drop over to the right-hand side gets cleaned up by Mutalisks that swing on back, so it doesn't really take too much damage from that. But next is the spearhead of this army through the middle. If HeroMarine decides that his time is now, he's just looking for economy damage still.
I mean, like, he's doing economic damage, but let's not forget that HeroMarine is basically a 1-base Terran now. That's what he is.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it looks like he has 4 bases, but he has 1, because he's not mining of the 3rd, and the main and natural are completely empty.
Still now pushing through the middle. How much is his bio? Oh, 23 Marines, 23 Marauders. So this army is still considerably strong, but patience is a virtue.
Take a look at 12. After these Mutalisks are done, just take a look at 12 o'clock. Look at this guy.
Okay then.
He has dreams.
He does have dreams. If I could just build this quicker. And the thing is that they all have pneumatized carapace, so they're just going to get shot and then move out of range.
It's pretty strong. Oh, wow! Actually, the other 2 Overlords move as well, because Red just grouped all of them, so that means that this command center can now drop without actually something shooting at that Overlord. What a great missile turret!
Good job, missile turret. You did well.
Scare tactics.
And he's bringing some Marines actually over eventually to try and clean up those. I mean, 6 Overlords being there. Why on earth not clean all that up and supply block your opponent for a little while? Where's he going?
Red just refuses to get this final armor upgrade.
Yeah, doesn't want him, man.
I'm a little bit rustled. It's like, yeah, you know what, I'm getting ready for Legacy of the Void. Oh no, wait, they're even better in Legacy. Well, then I don't know.
Yeah, Kindness plating, man. It provides quite the armor boost, so let's put it that way. But
he's yeah, that is true. He's getting a great Aspire now as well, so eventually we may see a couple Broodlords. And I do feel if Red can get 2, 3, 4 Broodlords out, when he also has Infestors and he has these Ultralisks, then I think it's going to be a very, very difficult story for HeroMarine.
Big push onto one of the most important mining bases here. And Baneling's trying to get through.
Oh my god.
13, actually, the SCVs get plummeted into the ground.
Fungo and Banelings.
Oh, jeez.
It's a beautiful combination.
And chasing on down here with the Marauders. Got to be careful. Doesn't want to get fungal themselves there. He was cleaning up towards the top left, and actually that's a lot of mules, so he'll still have quite a few minerals.
I think losing a couple SCVs is not a big deal, but losing 29 is slightly more, I think, than he wanted to lose. Just the bright side of all this is that HeroMarine's army is going to be ridiculously big. If he was able to only mine of these 8-9 mules that he just dropped, Planetary finally finished up. Oh, Banelings!
Oh, Daddy Planetary to the rescue!
Bailing.
Help us! Help us! Oh, he focused them!
Well
Great.
Big fight in the middle of the map as well.
Yeah, Fungal's going down on a lot of this bio as the Thors at the front are actually tanking up all of the Ultras for a long time there. And that was a big commitment there for Red.
Yeah, those Ultras just melted. He's really missing that upgrade. I really think it would make a difference. He could maybe land a Fungal. Of course, on creep, that fight would go infinitely times better for him than it actually went as well. And if HeroMarine can keep mining of that 5th base with all those mules that he has, he's sending 3 Ultras to the top side that kind of have the job to take care of this Planetary. HeroMarine, what are you going to do? You need to get a couple units there, because I think 2 Ultras on the Planetary, and the other one should just work on the mules.
Yeah, because if you're repaired with all of those mules, I don't think he can get the job done too quickly. Reinforcements on the way.
He got low, 300 HP, but the Planetary will live.
Close, but no cigar. Ling's actually onto the right-hand side here as well, onto the SCV line. 10 go down once again.
Such a sick game.
Brilliant way to start this best of 5 off.
Yeah. And this is why everyone loves watching ZVT, James. It's just madness. This game, since the 8 or 9 minute mark, it's been non-stop madness. There's been so many counterattacks, interceptions, worker harass, big fights. There's been action all over the place. It's been very entertaining.
But now can Rhett stave off this kind of tide of aggression we're seeing to the left-hand side, which is the most important corner of the map for him. He needs to keep his economy alive.
I think he just wants to counterattack, or at least he wants to keep, because he needs to buy a little bit of time for his Broodlords. He has 2 Corruptors out now. He has 2 more on the way. 4 Broodlords, kind of what I mentioned. I think 4 Broodlords already completely changes the entire dynamic of the battle.
But at the same time, HeroMarine is pushing into this position, and he's going to back off, being very patient about his assault, but...
Patient or indecisive?
I don't know, man. Regardless of what it is, it's not really doing the business. He needs to get some crippling damage done to his opponent.
Yeah, I think he's a little indecisive. I think he's very worried, and the longer he waits, the harder this will become. Soon there will be 4 Broodlords, and I think from that point on, I think the best thing for HeroMarine is just to start dancing around again and avoid the army. So many scans going down. He wants to know where the army is. Spotted a little bit of it.
Well, how are the Thor upgrades actually now that we talk about that? No weapons upgrades on the Thors at all. No. Normally they're actually quite useful against Broodlords. Picks up, gets out away from those Ultralisks. But
Fungal.
Gotta be very, very careful.
No Fungal. There was a Fungal dream.
Fungal dreams.
So Red is down in supply. He's heavily down in army supply. That's 176 against 131. That's obviously big, but
sees the Broodlords.
But I just love Red's army right now. Like, I love the army of Broodlords. I love the potential Fungal as well on top of that army. The Broodlords are a little bit exposed, but there is just not a whole lot of anti-air. The mines.
He got the Ultralisk Cavern as well during all of this, and the Ultras to the left-hand side were very, very bottled up in a section where they couldn't really get a good wraparound on this bio, while the bio and Thors were dealing with some of the Broodlords at the back, but the Ultralisks have been let loose now up to the top left. They're trying to chew their way all through all of these Thors, but the bio still persists in the middle of the map. The Corruptors are actually doing a great job against the medevac count, and slowly they could pick away at this bio.
I mean, that was a great fight for HeroMarine, but now he almost has no anti-air. Like, all he has is the Thors, and Thors don't kill Broodlords very quickly. There's no Marine. There's not a single Marine in that army.
Oh no, he somehow needs to keep these Thors alive. Drop mules, do something. If you can kill the Broodlords off them, this is big.
Yeah, he has 4 Marines now. Those 4 Marines should be able to do the job.
Oh, he changed it. He changed it into the armor shells here of the Thors. They're going to kill the Broodlords off. There's really not a lot left here for Rhett. He's making desperation lings here.
Oh my god. Wow. I mean, like you mentioned, all those Ultras, they were just, they were choked up over here.
Yeah.
They were not able to get through this little, basically what normally is a natural. Red's going to go for another counterattack. HeroMarine is obviously quite broke, but he can drop mules for days on that 12 o'clock base. I don't think that Red had to lose that fight as decisively, I say in between brackets because it got quite close in the end, but as he did. Because I think if those Ultras get a better engagement on those Thors and those Marauders, I think that Red could have maybe even won that fight.
It's rare you actually see that kind of prolonged a fight in StarCraft 2, but that was a long one.
Yeah.
And in the end, it looks like Marine here is really leading the charge with it. And so look at all these units. I mean, because the medevacs were all killed off, everything is on its last legs at the moment, but they are holding on. This is the Terran resistance right here, staving off all of these Lings that are coming up, but these Lings have to do something. Widowmine's going to connect with a few of them. Drones evacuating out. The rest of the bio's going to fall to drones and Lings. Oh my god.
But Red is broke as a joke. He doesn't even have money anymore for another hatchery. He has nothing. He has to go long distance mine.
Oh my god.
And it's some next level long distance mining. It's not like a little bit of a long distance mine, but he's long distance mining for ages. Yeah.
GG. Game number 1 goes to HeroMarine. Wow. And what a game it was. 36 minutes of that, but HeroMarine showed that he can stand the test of time in terms of these macro games against Ret.
I'd be exhausted after just playing this game. Like, you know, the other series we kind of said, like, you're 2 games in and you wonder if you start this best of 5, but it's already too early. Now, after a game like this, I think that's really intense. Like, you know, if you have a 25-minute game with a lot of action, already at the end of the game, you're like, you know, huge sigh of relief. This was 36 minutes of almost non-stop just going at it, an absolute slugfest. And Red is going to have to be kicking himself a little bit, man. Missed an upgrade, and that final engagement could have been so much better for him because he was really starting to take control of that game. HeroMarine was not mining anymore from 3 o'clock, so he was a 1-base Terran again after he was a 1-base Terran before that. And I felt he was a 1-base Terran for the longest amount of time. And he was very patient. I thought he was kind of indecisive because he was going down, up. He was just kind of running circles of what to do. And then finally he got the best fight ever. But
it was great.
Yeah, Red just put way too many ultras in that little choke point. And they were just standing there. There were like 3 ultras hugging each other. It was like a little train, you know. They wanted to go through, but there was something on the road.
But in the end, also, there were so many moments in that game where Red, in another situation, could have ended it. Like, they were so close, so down to the wire. What a great game to start things off in this best of 5.
It was a great game, but I do think if you're Red, that must have been a little bit frustrating because you look at it, and if you're 5 bases and you're doing a lot of economic damage and you have so much map vision, I just think you look at it and he's like, man, I had Ultras and Broodlords and Infestors, and I was up in bases, and I had creep spread, and I lost. Like,
yeah, there wasn't even any Vikings or anything. It was just the Thors.
I know there was so little anti-air there as well. Like, all that Red had to do is just like, you know, let those units chip away for a little bit. And at a certain point, yeah, there were like 50 Marauders left. But what are those Marauders going to do? No matter how many Marauders you have, they will never kill Broodlord.
All right, let's get into game number 2 then, as we have quite the series on our hands. Team Liquid is looking to keep the 3-for-3 record clean, but HeroMarine has something to say about that. He wants to be in Premier for the very first time, as he will be spawning up to the top left as our blue Terran. It is HeroMarine. And down to the bottom right-hand corner, it's our red Zerg representing Team Liquid. It is Ret.
Man, these guys are troopers. And they just played a 36-minute game. They hop into the lobby and they're like, go, 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 ready. It's like, oh my god.
The adrenaline's pumping for them.
I thought I was diehard, you know, when I play a bunch of ladder games in a row. But these guys, they take it to the next level.
Yeah, I mean, it's all on the line here. I mean, if you don't qualify here, you've got to wait until 2016 before you're able to qualify for WCS again. If you do qualify here, for Ret, it would be fantastic to say, yes, okay, I'm not that guy that flakes out in some tournaments. I am here for the mainstay. I am here for the long run in terms of WCS. But then for Marine, if he can qualify for his first ever Premier run through Ret, who did so well in Season 2, that would be amazing for him. Yeah,
that's just a great milestone. That's just kind of like a stepping stone that you have to take eventually. And you know he's close, and he's been close so many seasons in a row. And HeroMarine is probably one of these players as well that once he makes it into Premier League, I won't be surprised to see him in Premier League for the next 4 or 5 seasons in a row. It's just, you know, the first time is always the hardest, and after that, you know, they come easy.
And every single time, in Challenger, just pipped at the post. The last 2 times, it was by another Liquid member in Mana, who was able to make ridiculous recoveries in those
Mana is already a unique story. Like, I cannot wait to see Mana's round of 32 group, and I don't care who's in it, but I know I will be glued to my screen, or maybe I'll be casting it. I don't know what's going to be happening, but after that performance that Mana just put off, for all the viewers who just tuned in, this is our 4th best of 5 of the day already. We kicked things off with Marine Lord against DMC. Marine Lord took a pretty decisive 3-0 victory. Our second series of the day was a lot of fireworks as Mana went down 0-2 against Happy, but was able to turn it around. And we just watched Snoot kind of win pretty decisively against Saro as well, 3-0, where you know, Snoot just showed that he's an extremely good Zerg when it comes to TvZ and playing defensive.
Yeah, showed brilliant mastery there of the matchup. And at the moment, with HeroMarine and LiquidRet in this series, both of them showing great mastery of the late game here in this matchup as well.
And last but not least, of course, we have to add there will be one more best of 5 after this, and that's the best of 5 that I personally think it's the most exciting best of 5 in the entire Challenger. You know, no matter what region I'm looking at, whether it comes to Korea, you know, Code A, or when it comes to North American Challenger, like this is the series that I want to see. Showtime versus Naniwa is going to be our final series of the day, and yeah, I think it's going to be awesome.
It's going to be fantastic. That's basically good versus evil. If I could categorize it.
Naniwa is just misunderstood.
Misunderstood.
He's not evil. He's a beautiful, delicate flower in a cruel, cruel world.
I saw that he'd grown himself quite a cool beard, though, recently. So all he has to do is kind of refine it to a point, and then he would have the devil look about him. It would be beautiful. But anyway, for now, Reapers are poking on around, and we'll be trying to find some holes, but can't really do too much. Didn't find himself any workers or anything like that, so they're just going to be used later on for maybe a Marine special, actually, getting those Hellions over there and looking to couple all of this up for his usual go-to traditional aggression.
If I was those Reapers, I would go for the Creep Tumor. I think he would have been able to snipe it. Instead, he goes for some guaranteed damage on the Queen. But I actually think picking up a Tumor whenever you can is great.
Yeah, it makes it all the harder for the Zerg to really eventually transition over to the third base against like this Reaper Hellion pressure that could definitely amass very soon.
Another command center going down as part of the wall off, actually.
Yeah, so a little bit slower on the Hellions, etc., because the command center, the third one, is bound. So, but he's still finding Zergling kills.
And he might actually get the Queen now as well, because these three Reapers are still looking rather healthy.
Ooh.
One Queen is going to fall, and very good micro there by HeroMarine as he kept all of his Reapers alive.
I think game number 1 for HeroMarine is definitely a confidence booster.
Yeah.
After how it went down, after how much you were able to endure from counterattack to counterattack to counterattack, Marine has got a feel.
It's so good to win games like that, man. It's so good. We can't emphasize that enough on, you know, StarCraft is a mental game. All of these guys know how to play this game. They've played thousands, 10,000s of games. They know what to do. But it's often mental, you know, how good do you feel? Am I good in this matchup or not? And if you win a slugfest like that, you know, 36, 37 minutes of action, then it's just like, you know, you just clap your hands. You're like, bring it on. You know, I'm ready to play some StarCraft.
But on the other side of things, Rotterdam, and you being a professional yourself in the past, does LiquidRet... I don't think he feels...
Far past. Yeah, go ahead.
I don't think he is too demoralized about the last game, because Rhett could probably just say to himself, well, I had a lot of good counterattacks. I had a lot of potential in that game. Do you feel that?
No, I definitely do feel with you. And that also, that also is a little bit, how do you say that? Like, it comes down to the personality of the player, right?
Yes.
What type of a person are you? With some people, I may disagree. And I do think it was a frustrating game for Red. Don't get me wrong, because Red is smart enough to realize that he should have probably won that game. But Red is also not a guy that really let it get to him. I mean, he's been a pro gamer for 9-10 years. He just looks at that, well, these queens are actually starting to really play with fire in the wrong way of things.
Yeah.
Not just with Hellion fire. But
no, you don't want to be playing with Hellion fire, man. Especially if you're a queen. That's kind of toasty. It's going to end up dying
all of them were so low on HP. If HeroMarine would have pushed the issue there a little bit, he doesn't know what we know. But these queens are going to be really frustrating too now because the Banshees, because the queens are so low on HP. But to fall back to the earlier point, Red is a veteran, and Red's personality, if you guys haven't seen any interviews, he's just a very calm and laid-back guy, and I don't think he stresses himself out too much. He obviously wants to win and he wants to perform here, but he's not someone who's jumping up and down in his bedroom whether he wins or loses a game.
And noticeably, the Banshees have actually been not even gone for harassment. They're keeping themselves at the front here to continue this aggression on, so quite ambitious a move. He needs to do some damage with this and kind of put Red in his place almost, you know, like slow him down a little bit.
Yeah, because Red is up 17 workers now. Once again, of course, HeroMarine did have 3 CCs very quickly as well. If they can take this fight off creep, that would be great for HeroMarine, because I don't think the Zerglings will ever get the surround off creep.
Ooh. Oh, great focus fire as well there by Red with the Overseer that he had in place. There's no anti-air to deal with that, so he does get himself the first Banshee.
Yeah, that's very nice. It's going to make his life a little bit easier. I think if both Banshees because he had 2 at a certain point. If they would have both went to the main, I think that could have been extremely frustrating. Just look on the south side of that of the main base. You know, if you take a look at where the spore is, so basically just like if he parks them over here next to that extractor, what are you going to do with a bunch of queens that are low on HP? There's one queen that's full on HP. You're going to have to reposition the spore crawler and whatnot. That could have been very frustrating. Instead, the only thing that Red ended up losing there was a creep tumor or 2, so not too bad.
Yeah, doing okay, holding on strong. 77 workers now against 57. Of course, the third base is on the way behind this for HeroMarine, and
I love how Red gets the armor upgrade before anything else in this game.
Ah, yes.
Like not making that same mistake. Armor is 20 seconds ahead of attack, just in case.
And it's such a big deal against the Terran Force if they're going for bio, because you know those Marines are dealing damage in little packets, which will ultimately be negated stronger against something like technically a Marauder, which comes later on in the game. Well, not late, too late in the game, but the moral of the story is there's going to be more Marines earlier than there is later because of the Ultralisk transitions.
That's okay, James. I often get lost in my own thoughts as well. It's like you start somewhere and it's like, no, wait, I want to go. No, yeah, I'm lost.
I refined it.
It's like, co-caster, help me out over here, man. What are you doing? Sorry, James, left you hanging.
It's all right, buddy. It's all right.
The armory is going down as well as the second factory. In the previous game, he threw down 2 factories, which I thought was almost maybe slight overkill. This time, he's just working off 2 factories. In the previous game, it was 3. And I think that makes a little bit more sense. I don't think he needs 3 immediately.
Looking to push through the middle again here. Saved and retained all of the Hellions from prior and continues to put on the pressure, but still needs some good damage to be done. There's actually the counterattack going straight on in here for Rhett, and he has actually
doors are open.
Oh, dear me. So that's going to get himself a few easy SCV kills.
Yep, there shouldn't be too many, but it's just lost mining time, right? And if you get a couple, you can soften them up a little bit as well. So maybe, you know, prepare the alley-oop for your Mutalisk later on.
And he does get like at least 2 or 3 worker kills for his troubles there. And it drew the entire army back.
It drew the army back, and a lot of them are very low on HP now. So later on, if those Mutalisks swing in, it's a bunch of easy kills.
And for now, Centrifugal Hooks is just about to finish up here with these links, repositioning themselves to the right-hand side. So that's quite a lot of Banelings actually morphing in. Just wants to bust down this wall, get to that juicy mineral line, because there's really not that much defense for it here.
Yeah, so this game, of course, you know, Coda is a lot smaller than Cactus Valley, so this battle of the fourth base is going to be a little harder for Red. He's on 87 workers, so from this point on, it's going to be nothing but units. He has a lot of units on the right top side of the map. I think if HeroMarine knew this, well, it's still hard to walk up a ramp, and it's Covenant Creepers. Oh, look at all these Banelings. The Bane train is rolling once more. You should split it up, go for 2 sides. Yeah.
Oh, try and run away, even to lowering the supply depots to try and get out, but it is all in vain. 16 workers go down. The army is scrambling to get back here to actually clean this up. Rhett has orchestrated this well.
Yeah, great counterattack. It really shows the marks of a great player as well. There is a big Terran army in the middle of the map that's looking to put some pressure on your fourth base. And what do players like Red do? Have a bunch of units on the right top side. Just attack him. You want to attack me? Well, be quick about it. Otherwise, I will hit you first. And it's just great. And now Red is in an absolutely phenomenal position. Has a big upgrade advantage. 2-2 is done. 2-2 is only halfway done for HeroMarine. Army supply, it's dead even at this point, but a lot of these Zerglings will morph into Banelings once more. And if these mines shoot once at the Zerglings, it's going to be a very difficult hold over here for HeroMarine, because there's so many Banelings following this up.
Yeah, this is going to be very, very hard for him to deal with. I mean, he only has 16, 15 Marines left actually over here. More Banelings are going to cruise on into the right-hand side, kill off these if he can't. He needs to pick up and get out of there somehow, but he doesn't find the time to do it. And LiquidRet, if he powers on forwards, there you go, GG. He could have easily just gone to the mineral lines, easily gone to the production.
Man, decisive game number 2 by Red. After we just watched that crazy slugfest that was Cactus Valley. Took 36 minutes, extremely back and forth. Perhaps kind of what we said. Red is not a guy that, you know, not a whole lot phases him. He's been a veteran when it comes to playing StarCraft 2. First Brood War, has been to Korea, has won tournaments in StarCraft 2. And yeah, his StarCraft 2 career has definitely been a roller coaster ride, a little up and down. But, you know, one game that maybe he should have won, it doesn't seem like it really upsets him. And in game number 2, man, it was all business for Red.
Definitely all business. That's the best way to say it, Roddy. All business for Red, tying it up, and then now moving it on to a best of 3. So we're guaranteed to see at least 4 4 games here in this best of 5.
And the fourth map is actually an interesting one because I looked at the map. Well, let me just double check this because I'm pretty sure I'm correct. Yes, the fourth map is going to be played on Bridgehead. And Bridgehead is also like Dash in Terminal, a map that's a little bit out there, you know. Like, and there's a couple of the pro gamers not a big fan of it because it plays out so different. You have to worry about so many additional things because of those crazy backdoor rocks. So we will at least see Bridgehead in this series, and that's something that I'm personally looking forward to, because Snoot versus TY, the Intox Remastered Shenzhen, I know it was hard to watch with time zones and stuff, but that was a sick game. It was basically like Cactus Valley, but then on Bridgehead. There was so much happening. So ever since then, I was like, I want to see some more TvZs on Bridgehead.
And we get to, especially after the first game that we saw. That looks like it could be a good one for sure. And with how this series is playing out at the moment, I'm not surprised in the slightest if it goes to all 5 maps.
No.
With how these are looking even and matched up, I think that maybe we see Marine get a little bit more aggressive now that we're seeing Rhett gather his stride.
I still felt early game, Marine looked great with his Reaper control. Of course, the ball's always in the Terran's corner, right? Terran is not supposed to mess up. If Terran loses a Reaper, then it's not because the Zerg did something right, it's just the Terran did something wrong, because the Zerg doesn't have the speed or the ability to kill a Reaper early on. But he didn't make any mistakes. He even got a Queen. I think one time we could have got a Creep Tumor, didn't do it, that's fine. But I think he kind of missed a small window with the Stow Banshees, because he did so much damage on all those Queens, and they were so low on HP, that if you send 2 full HP Banshees to the main base of the Zerg, and he doesn't have 2 spores, but just 1, you just avoid that Spore Crawler, and you go via the weak spot. And that's when things become really frustrating as a Zerg player, because then you have to run Queens around, you have to pull drones away from the side mineral patches, you're going to lose some of your gas income. And I kind of think that would have been a better decision for HeroMarine than keeping the Banshees near the Hellions and not really getting anything done.
I mean, if you keep them even with the Hellions, and you have softened up all those Queens,
be
a bit more aggressive. Yeah, just get them. I mean, that's like kind of you're negating or bringing them low so that you can exploit those Banshees.
He was setting himself up for a follow-up, and then he didn't follow up.
Yeah, oh well. Well, we'll find out if he can here in game at number 3, that's for sure, because Marine still looking poised as going up against Rhett here, who shows in his late game or long game potential macro just signs of brilliance as we get into Iron Fortress now.
What I've always been amazed whenever I watch Rhett play ZVT is the ease he can get up to a ridiculous drone number and not die. And I know this is one of the oldest stories, like, Rhett over drones. Like, people have been saying that in like since 2010, 2011. But for a while, it was like Rhett over drones and he dies, you know. It's like, well, that's great that you have a reputation of going up to a lot of workers if you die. But over the last 6 to 8 months, I really feel I've watched quite a few ZVTs where he gets up to 4 bases, he gets up to 80 drones, 85, 87, and he doesn't die. And obviously on that moment, you know, that's Rhett's playing field. That's what he loves, just throw units. That's, you know, that's the way that he loves to play StarCraft.
And let's see if he can do that here on Iron Fortress. Game at number 3 now here for the World Championship Series Challenger Day 1 from Europe. We've had some great games so far. And long may it continue as we have spawning down at the bottom right-hand corner, tying up the series. It is LiquidRet in the red. And to the bottom left-hand corner, we have our blue Terran. It is Mr. HeroMarine.
You think he does that on purpose? Play with red?
No.
It does have a nice ring to it.
It does. But oh, well, what is he named after? Is he named after Retribution? Is that why he's called Ret? Do you know this?
I have absolutely no idea, actually.
I need to ask him at one point. But I've always meant to and never really done it, so...
There's a lot of very funny stories behind some of the player nicknames out there.
Yeah.
It's like when you ask around. It was a big thing when StarCraft 2 just came out. You know, a lot of players were giving interviews and explaining their nicknames.
True.
And I remember giggling a couple of times. It's like, this absolutely makes no sense at all. Like and there is this one weird Dutch guy who names himself after the city he comes from. It's like, wow, you've got an A+ for creativity, don't you?
Wow. Yeah. I was about to ask, is it really just because of the place Rotterdam?
It's just like, you know, in Warcraft 3, you used to make new accounts all the time, right? You could just like make a new account over and over again.
I did that a lot.
Yeah, and then one day I was playing with a couple Dutch friends, and I wasn't very good at the game yet. And I just made new accounts over and over again. At first, I just called myself by my name, and I didn't really know any nicknames. And then we went to play on the North American server, so everybody took their city name. You know, one guy was from Amsterdam, one was from The Hague, and I called myself Rotterdam. And it turned out, you know, that in Warcraft 3, the North Americans were slightly less good than the Europeans, so my stats became really good. So I was like, man, I'm so proud of this profile. You know, it's like beautiful stats, great win record. And then the people were, you know, the first time someone was like, oh yeah, Rotterdam, he plays you know, arranged team on the North American server. I was like, oh my god, I'm known as Rotterdam. Like, I gotta stick with this, you know. And then on a certain point, you can't go back anymore. And then later on, I was like, oh my god, why did I call myself Rotterdam? But, oh well, gotta roll with it, James.
Sticks when it sticks, man. It sticks when it sticks. I think my favorite story about nicknames, I think it was Oz. Who at one point in his career when he was on FXO wanted to call himself Pooh. And the team decided and advised him against it, even though he thought it was a glorious idea. And he eventually did not call himself that. So
my favorite nickname, just to have a little bit more Warcraft history over here, was a Korean orc player who was actually extremely good. He is like tournament caliber or tournament winning caliber good.
Yeah.
And he called himself Who.
Who?
Yeah. So it's always like, who won? It's like, yeah, who won? It's like,
oh dear me.
Like, oh my god, this joke has been made 300,000 times. And it's just still confusing.
It's like you can't actually, when you're casting someone like Happy, you can't say, oh, look how happy he is. I always fall into this trap of, look how content he is. It's like a downgraded version of Happy. Oh, whatever. All right, well, back to StarCraft land.
If I could do it all over again, I would call myself Versus.
Versus, oh my god, no, you monster. That's horrible. Like, everyone has a stutter. It's like, and it's going to be HeroMarine to the bottom left versus. Like, ugh.
All right, it's another triple command center opening over here for HeroMarine. Again, command center went down even before the factory, so it's super economic. I think it's good for HeroMarine that they got horizontal spawning positions over here at the bottom. That should keep the playing field a little bit smaller, which should work into his advantage, because I think cross map would have been more in Red's ballpark game plan.
Definitely. He spots the creep down towards the bottom. Doesn't even need to scout anymore. So, but for the most part, he was playing this kind of greedy opener anyway. Seeing that game one, yeah, he had success with it. So why on earth not?
I've got a question for you, James. Whenever you played StarCraft, did you have a preference of spawning on the left or right side of the map?
Left.
Yeah.
Totally left.
Me too.
I just like playing it's like in fighting games. You know, when you spawn on, I'd much rather spawn on the left than I would on the right, because I guess right to me feels like advancing. That's my way of looking at it.
Yeah, no. It's just it's double factory, by the way, so this is very different than what we've seen in the previous games.
Yeah.
And Red is switching things up as well, so it's obviously interesting build orders, and we should pay attention to it. Because Red went 2-base Muda over here, not something we've seen from him yet in this series. I think he could have busted it out on Coda if he really wanted to, but he didn't do it on Coda. He went for the double evolution chamber style, but this time it is going to be very quick Mutalisk, and I actually think this is brilliant for Red, because he doesn't know what he's playing against yet, but I think he's going to be very happy about it. Because he's going to be playing against a bunch of Blue Flame Hellions, but by the time that they're arriving, or maybe Hellbats, but by the time that they're arriving, you know, he's going to have Mutalisk out. That's great. Yeah,
it's going to be brilliant. Unless HeroMarine sniffed this out really quickly and then was like, okay, well, quickly where's my armory, quick where's Thor's, but that's not going to happen. Okay. Very difficult.
Yeah, he throws down the scan. Well, he's double eBay going down as well, so I don't think he has any ambitions of going, you know, real mech over here. No. It's just a Blue Flame opening, which would have been very good against his mass Zergling style that Red has showed in game number 1 and game number 2, where he gets those upgrades very quickly. But against his 2-base Muda style,
total switch up.
Yeah, I totally love Red's, you know, Red's side of the build order business so far.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's playing out great for him.
I mean, if you look at these Hellions, they haven't really scouted up towards the 3rd base location. And if they'd have gone up there and been like, well, okay, that's kind of delayed, maybe he'd be able to sniff it out a bit better. But right now, the Mutalisks are already about to arrive. This is catastrophic for HeroMarine.
Yeah, he doesn't even have any anti-air. Just look at the amount of anti. Well, he has 7 Marines, but where are they?
It's not enough.
He has nothing in his natural.
No.
Oh my god, he's going to take some real damage. Now just send those Hellions into the natural and just hope for the best. Hope for a big drone barbecue party. Red should know what he's up against as well, as he sees the tech lab swinging, he sees the factory, spots the Hellions as well on his creep. But I don't think he's even going to bring the Mutalisk back. He's just going to kill a ridiculous amount of SCVs. Yeah. And he's going to use Queens and stuff to defend. Does he have Zerglings? Well, he doesn't even have Zergling speed. Red has to be careful though, because he's doing a lot of damage. But these Hellions, they should be able to do almost as much damage as that.
Yeah, they're going into the main base, and this could be completely ransacked very, very quickly. Baneling Nest morphing in. Rhett is in a little bit of crisis mode himself. He's still killing workers off on the other side. 26 have already gone down, but the drones actually get a great surround on these Hellions. Oh my god.
I don't think I ever would ever say that. Of course, most of them do die, but those drones did indeed get a great surround on those Blue Flame Hellions. Now there's only 2 left. Okay, 3 more will swing in, so things are still a little bit complicated, but like HeroMarine still doesn't have any anti-air.
Still not much at all. He has some missile turrets go up in the natural, but he's losing equal workers almost. Rhett has to be just producing workers non-stop from here, and he's, well, I mean, things have evened out, but third base and everything going up.
Yeah, I do really like the fact that he got those missile turrets up in the natural. I didn't saw that he got that. I thought Rhett was splitting up his meal list, so that is extremely important. Otherwise, HeroMarine would have lost a lot more. So the 33 drones that HeroMarine killed, well, that definitely does matter. That's pretty damn massive business, because it's not easy to produce meal of an economy with only 34 drones.
If he could get these Hellions over towards the third base, because there's no queen over there or anything.
And that's where the most amount of drones are as well.
Yeah.
God, Red, really, you can't afford to lose too many more drones.
He transferred a few away. He knew that that was a vulnerability point and transferred some away as they were coming in. So, yeah, he'll get a few, but gets the cleanup as well.
Good split by Red.
Definitely.
Good pre-split, just forcing these Hellions to shoot at 1, max 2 drones at a time. Did he pick off the tech lab that was researching Stim? No, he did not. So Stim did finish up, and that is a very, very scary thought, because right now Red does not have an economy to deal with Stim Marines. Importantly,
of course, he did get the Baneling Nest, but you're right, he's not exactly in the best of shape to deal with it. Centrifugal hooks is not any, it's only just started.
The good thing is that he did delay that starport for ages, so yes, these Marines have Stim, and that's scary, but there's no medevac, so that's going to make Red's life a little bit easier. But like you mentioned as well, centrifugal hooks, or Baneling speed, as we like to call it, as ordinary people, has just started.
I'm not ordinary, man. I'm sorry.
You're an elitist, James.
Elitist. I'll do what I can. Well, he's Mutalists being zoned out here from the Hellions, so at least they'll be able to clean up all the active creep tumors, and that's actually a nice pickup there for HeroMarine if he cleans up the rest of it.
Yeah, messy, scrappy game. It looked like it was almost game over, and then it kind of looked like Red is defending this without losing too much, and then 3 more Hellions sneaked in, and then suddenly it went from 17 drones or 18 drones to like 34. Man, if those Marines would have stimmed, I think he would have been able to got 2 Mutalisks. At least 1, though.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Well, he's going to stim anyway.
Trying to fend off the assault on towards his command center, and absolutely needs a third base up. Thing is that he can wall off some of these he just killed his Marine for himself. That was weird.
I didn't see.
But he can wall off these locations, and we're going to see like counterattacks swing on around once again, and Rhett is really getting his creep spread going now.
Yes, and he has re-established the economy that he once upon a time had, or was dreaming of, as he's going up to 65 drones now. From this point on, I do advise Red to really start making some units, because obviously HeroMarine is going to put some serious pressure on Red soon, because he wants to do something about that creep threat as well. Especially when you play horizontal, you definitely don't want creep to be knocking on either your natural or your third base.
That's true, because it can get over there very, very fast, especially if Rhett is having so much focus on 4 queens at the front to do that. These Marines are positioning themselves in a very precarious spot, just waiting for those Mutalists to try and swing on around, but they don't find them.
For the people with OCD, Red does have 4 drones on his main extractor in the main base.
Oh, does he really?
The right one.
Oh, no!
This drives people insane. So many people get really angry when this happens. It's like, guys, it happens. It's just a drone. It's like, you're losing the game. I was like, I don't think the drone is losing the game.
That one little guy comes back with the flag of surrender. But well, for now, looks like Marine has kind of stabilized himself. It's not exactly a full stable place at the moment, because Rhett is still really powering up now. Once all this room gets opened up with these overlords, he can start opening up the taps for a big army.
I like that he's knocking down this cooling tower. I think that's very smart, because Red has been going for run-bys non-stop. And look at those Banelings already, actually, on the north side over here. They were all Red, I hope he's paying attention. He won't just blow up the cooling tower, right?
I think they just walk into them, yeah. And it's like, oh, shame.
Baneling hug. Banelings need love too.
They're like, well, what are we supposed to do? There's no Zerglings here to help us. If only you could demorph.
Yeah, morph back. And then tap, 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 and then morph into the Ultra Bane.
Yeah, see what you can. Well,
Red picks up one of these refineries. That's nice. Gonna work on the missile turret, but has to be very careful as he doesn't have great upgrades yet on his middle list. +1 is about to finish up. Armies are almost clashing. Oh my god, he got 16 SCVs there. That's pretty good.
Yeah, those were very patient banelings, and they did a little bit more than I was expecting them to actually, but they found their way. Now this army is spreading out. He should drop scans and clean up some of this creep quickly.
Red needs a few more banelings though. Right now, he just has 9 banelings on the map. He's morphing a few more, but I kind of feel in this moment he definitely needs like 20. HeroMarine has seen it. He's gonna go for a big pre-split. Has Widow Mines as well on the high ground. This is gonna be interesting, James.
Yeah, if he can get those Widow Mines down quickly enough, but actually 3 of them die before they're even able to detonate. So that's a big opportunity here for Red to try and swell through and crush this army. Still banelings in the back here. The Mutalisk is a little bit apprehensive about moving forwards, but he kills off the Marines, and that is a great cleanup for Red.
Yep, that's an absolute great cleanup. And now he still has all this creep. He still has 1 or 2 active tumors as well. And let's not forget about that economic damage that he did earlier. Picked up, oh man, look at those upgrades. Just 2-2, finishing up right now for HeroMarine. If he waits a little bit, he's going to get a much better fight.
Yeah,
I love how this game again, Red got armor upgrade before attack. He,
has he forgotten?
No, I'm not sure if he forgot about attack because he was just not very rich. But he just got armor again immediately.
Oh, well. Well, Mutalisk is still going to dive on in and get on these missile turrets that are having a bit of a harder time being repaired. There's plenty of Mutalisk now, and especially with +1, it does make a big, big difference. He killed one of his own Marines again. It's like 2 for 2.
Mutiny, man, it's real.
Yeah, he doesn't want anybody going against him. The Marine Corps is strong and won.
Live as a Marine and you die as a Marine.
Yeah.
There's no way out. That guy dreamed about retiring to become the missile turret guy. No.
Each time he's just like, are these changelings? Find some at the front.
Yeah. He's like, that Marine doesn't listen, kill him. It's like, wow, quite a dictator, are you, eh?
Well, Mutalisk are going to swing into the back lines here of this third base and do some more damage. The missile turret from before was cleaned up by those banelings having crashed into the rest of it, so opens up a great avenue for the Mutas.
Oh man, 35 additional banelings being morphed now in the middle of the map. Red is going to go for another big attack. He's mining off his 4th base. He has a 5th base on the way as well. He's just playing. He's playing great StarCraft. This was kind of a scrappy game. He lost an insane amount of drones. He was still up a few workers, but with the triple orbital command, some people may have even favored HeroMarine's position. But Red did a really good job in re-establishing the economy that he was looking for.
Finds himself missile turrets towards the back again. All those banelings could walk into the 3rd base if he wants them to. This could be catastrophic here for HeroMarine as banelings get split on off. He left a few of these units up towards top. Good cleanup there by HeroMarine.
Yeah, very good, because that could have been bad as well, but he just had enough damage output there to take care of those banelings. He had Widow Mines there before as well, but he unburned them, so those mines are still fresh. They could still shoot if Red goes for the big attack. Now he goes up to a Hive before he starts +2 attack, so now I'm starting to have the feeling that he did indeed forget +2 attack. What's up with Red and forgetting upgrades?
I don't know, man. Well, regardless, with that high finishing, yeah, there will be that damn moment.
At least he didn't get +1 missile attacks this time.
Yeah, and I think compared to the previous situation he was in, I think he's in a really good spot right now. Yeah. He is really bringing the fight to Marine, and Marine hasn't had any opportunity to drop. Only just now is really starting that kind of war effort.
Yeah, the only problem there is for Red, and it's not really a problem, it's more like a luxury problem, is that he has killed so many SCVs that the army supply of HeroMarine is going to be very big. He's already up 26 army supply. There's a lot of Widow Mines. Oh man, that's playing with fire.
And he even spots the medevac up towards the top because of the pre-spread of those of the overlords that he was going for. There's actually 3 Widow Mines there.
Oh my god! So close.
Look how close they all are.
That is ridiculous. I saw 1 mine, I didn't see the other 2.
Oh my god.
That is so sick. Oh, poor guy. He got so close. And now Red is just like, I guess I should let them heal up a little bit. Those mutas have been putting in some work.
There's moments where I would have gone utterly bonkers in that instance if all of them had died, but they were all on 1 health.
It's
oh my god. Powering through here with the banelings though, and actually a lot of them died off to a Widow Mine in the middle there, so he's got to be careful. The Mutalisks aren't exactly ready to fight. I think that Marine realized that and wanted to press his advantage, and it was the perfect time to do, especially since Red had to sacrifice banelings in the middle and couldn't really take that fight slowly.
Yeah, but I kind of feel that this is like HeroMarine is overstepping his boundaries here a little bit, because he just feels like he has to win right here and right now, otherwise he's not going to win this game anymore. But Red is going to have probably enough time to get enough banelings out. He's setting himself up for his 6th round as well. The army supply is still heavily in favor of HeroMarine, but on creep. Oh no, he used all the banelings into the tour.
Yeah, they actually bypassed a little bit of that bio army and just sacrificed themselves completely. Now all it's up to the Mutalisks here to really do something. There's not even that many links in production. Only 12 in total.
Oh my god.
Is this happening?
I didn't like. I really thought Red was going to be able to clean it up, but then he just ran 10, 12 banelings into a tor.
Oh my god.
And he's losing all of his Mutalisks as well in the middle of the map.
Oh my god.
Those mines, they may have not done it immediately.
I can't believe it. I cannot believe how the game flow has just turned completely on its head from 3 Widow Mines down to the bottom left, being able to do the damage, to then forcing these fights and forcing these mistakes out of Red.
Double medevac drop now in the 4th base of Red. There's absolutely nothing here anymore. He left some units there all along, but I think on a certain point he just grabbed every single unit that he had access to. Red still has so much money. It just seems like, oh my god, those Marauders. There were a bunch of Marauders on that ramp that just soaked up 12 or so banelings as well.
It's falling to pieces. It's falling to pieces for Red here in game number 3, and HeroMarine has taken a double supply lead at this point. He's killed off the base towards the top. He's on his opponent's natural, and even if this gets cleaned up for now, I don't know. This is going to be difficult. There you go. GG. HeroMarine turns it around in game number 3. Unbelievable stuff.
Leaving the game as well. I mean, like, I know he's super dead, but like everyone hates leaving the game when you have 2,100 minerals, 1,300 gas. That's so many resources. Oh, it was such a wild game. Like early on, first it looked really good for Red, then it looked a little tricky, and then he just put himself in an absolutely phenomenal position. And it looked like it was almost unlosable. Then those mines, we were like, well, you know, but you know, in a weird way, and this sounds really bizarre, I think in a weird way, it may have been even better for Red if those Mutalisks would have just died. Because then he had enough money to just rebuild them immediately. And then he has full HP mines. Because now he was kind of fighting with like half HP, or I said mines, but I meant Mutalisk. Now he's fighting with half HP Mutalisk. And, oh man, that second fight as well, after the first fight went really good for HeroMarine, as a lot of banelings did get blown up by those mines. Then I kind of still felt that Red was setting himself up for another big surround on creep. He was down a little bit in army supply, but I felt with all the reinforcements, all those hatcheries, all that money that he had, he should have been able to clean it up. But man, 12, 14 banelings running into a tor, or however many banelings it was, that was very painful for Red.
Yeah, tough stuff, tough stuff. And now, HeroMarine, he is 1 game away from moving on to Premier League for the very first time after 4 attempts in the past, and now this being his 5th. But all importantly is there have been moments in those challenger runs where there has been frustration. There has been the comeback from the opposing player. And looking at this series, how it's played out, Rhett has that in him, I feel.
He does, and I said before that I think that Red, being such a veteran when it comes to playing competitive StarCraft, nothing really phases him. I think if you right now, I think he might be a tiny bit upset with himself, because everyone hates leaving games with a lot of money in the bank. Everyone hates leaving games where you're just in absolute control, where you have map vision, where you have bases, where you have basically everything going for yourself, and then suddenly you just end up losing it. Like, that's just bizarre. And that happened twice now. You can look at this series, and with a few minor tweaks, this would have been a 3-0 by now. Instead, HeroMarine is actually in the lead 2-1. I would almost say that he stole 2 games of Red, because I felt both games, both game number 1 and game number 3, that should have been Red's game.
Well, now we get on to game number 4, and it is on Bridgehead. Roddy, coming into this 4th game, 4th map, who are you favoring here? Does this lean towards the Terran? Does this lean towards the Zerg?
I think a lot of Terrans really hate it because of the double destructible rocks. That Zerglings, like, once those rocks are down, you have to worry about it forever, and you have to build supply depots, you have to renew the wall. So it can be very frustrating super late game. Red is not really a Roach Hydra player, but I think if there is a map where you may want to experiment a little bit with roaches, then it could be this map as well, because once again, if those rocks are down and roaches will take it down rather quickly, that can get so frustrating for a Terran.
All right, well, we are getting good to go here into game number 4. You can hear the countdown has already begun. What a series we've had so far between these two. Oh, by far, for me, the best series so far, and could prove to be the best series of the night. But of course, we still have that Showtime Naniwa coming up.
A little bit of a stretch for all the Protoss players out there, James.
That's true, that's true. All right, let's get into it. It's going to be game number 4, as at the moment, Rhett is down 1 game here in this best of 5. And HeroMarine wants to close it out. To the left, it is our red Zerg representing Team Liquid. It is Rhett. And then to the right-hand side is our blue Terran representing Mouse Sports. It is HeroMarine.
No, it definitely has been one hell of a series so far. Like, I've been on the edge of my seat. I've been, you know, like you just move forward. You can't sit still when you watch these games. They're nerve-wracking. Once again, it doesn't really change anything to me whether HeroMarine or Red wins. Like, I'm a little bit closer to Red, so it would be nice to see my friend win. But in the end of the day, it doesn't make a difference. But I feel really tense, man. Like, I need a beer after this broadcast. That's how tense these games are. Like, there's so many nerve-breaking moments. It's been a very entertaining day of StarCraft, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's been great. It has been fantastic. What a way to start off Challenger here in Europe.
I always feel Challenger is so fun, like with the whole picking system and the importance that like obviously I love the Premier League as well, the round of 32, but often I feel, you know, the first best of 3 obviously it matters, but it's not make it or break it, you know, because if they lose it, they have the lower bracket match and they could win that one, but then they could still lose eventually and they would still be with empty hands. But this is just one best of 5. And there is one winner and one loser, and there's no other way to look at it. And I really enjoy that. I just think it adds a lot of extra drama to every single game.
Yeah. I enjoyed the picking system, especially here for Season 2 as well. It was on Twitter, like the call-outs that we did. That was fun. Apart from Firecake going missing in action for a while. But aside from that, it was quite the entertaining little experience to watch that go on. So fun stuff here at WCS.
We're trying to make it fun, James. StarCraft is a very fun game.
That's what it's all about.
It's the most beautiful game in the world. Can be the most frustrating game in the world. But it's still pretty damn awesome.
Look at this. We're seeing HeroMarine check down towards these back rocks just to make sure nothing's going on, because we've seen a few crazy little opportunities for hatcheries and stuff like that to plant itself down.
And he went CC first. I think it would have been very difficult to still defend that while going CC first. Maybe not impossible, but he would have to do almost all the right things. As a Protoss, you can still defend it, but you need to spot it very early on, get a pylon there and get your cannons up, and then start a cute little Sim City, because even when you think it's over, a bunch of banelings roll in through the side blockers. it's like a bad horror movie, because if you take a look at those two rocks, it's like, so first you have to imagine, like if you're on the other side, right, it's basically you in the forest, you're sitting in a bungalow, and then like first you hear people outside of the bungalow, you hear footsteps, you know, so you're starting to get a little bit scared. You see them work, so that what you do is you lock the door, so you're also known as you throw up a cannon. Then you think they went away, and then suddenly, through the forest, a bunch of banelings roll in, and that's where the bad horror movie starts, James.
It's they do never end, because you think you've killed the bad guy, and then they come up to this ramp, and then it's like, no!
Exactly, it's like, did anyone lock the basement? It's like, we've got a basement? Not the
basement! Oh, dear me. Oh, well. For now, Rat is setting himself a poke back at home. It's Drone City over there. It's 22 drones, just 2 links poking about. And they should start on the rocks. That's the tip-tap. That's the knock on the door. And just may as well eventually.
It's a little scared. This is basically the prank phone call. It's like, I know what you did last summer.
I'm like, ah!
It's like, I know what you guys are doing. It's like, wait, did I hear something?
Well, setting himself up quite the perimeter as well with these overlords in terms of vision. So eventually later on, oh, well, no, go away, shoo. We'll be able to keep good eyes on what's going on there. And ooh,
he didn't actually see the refinery with his Overlord, and I think he would have loved to see it, because this game HeroMarine is switching it up a little bit. Despite the fact that he went Command Center first, which is an economic opening, it's not that super slow triple Command Center opening that it is. He's actually going to have very quick access to his starport here, and since he's mining off double refinery, it will most likely be Banshees, Cloak Banshees maybe?
Yeah, looks like it. Looks like the Cloak could come out here for those. And the door has been found, and he will be barring that off with a little bit of wood being nailed onto it. So he's okay.
There's one extra lock.
Ah, well, and then now the Hellions have come to ruin the party.
But this is when you upset the angry brother.
Oh, well, that's true.
It's a scary guy in the forest. Like, you've been picking on my little bro? It's like, no, man, it wasn't me.
The Queens, unfortunately, can't really get over there too quickly, but it would be lovely if they could.
So these Cloak Banshees, obviously HeroMarine will hope to do some damage with it, but above all, it's going to give him a lot of map control for a little while, right? Like, nothing should kill these Banshees early on. Red did not go for his evolution chamber style, but it's also, well, he could still actually throw down both evos. Yeah, there we go. In the back of his natural, he will throw down both evolution chambers because he didn't go up to Leia yet, so I was kind of figuring like, well, it's one or the other. And he's going to go for his heavy upgrades once more. So far, you know, Red got a little bit fortunate, I kind of felt, with his Mutalisk against the Blue Flames. I really wonder how that game would have played out as well if Red just kept his Mutalisk at home. You know, obviously he won't deal the economic damage that he did, but he also won't lose the amount of drones that he did. And then I still kind of felt he would have had a lot of map control, but in the end it still played out okay-ish for Red. Either way, this has been a series that's almost impossible to summon up. There's been so many turning moments, so many unexpected turns as well. Game number 1 was ridiculous in Coda, on the Cactus Valley, and then we kind of had the relatively one-sided game on Coda, where there were still a couple scary moments. And now we're here on Bridgehead, where the first Cloak Banshee has made his way. Oh my god, that's so sick! Wow, that's really sick.
He even saw them looping around here with the Overlord to the bottom, but he didn't change up anything. Oh, that was so easy for Marine.
Wow, and there's a Cloak Banshee in the back of the natural that's actually doing some serious work. Has killed 3 drones, 4 drones now, and a queen. 5 drones and a queen for the Cloak Banshee, and man, and the 7 drone kills by these Hellions from downtown or from beyond the Arc, the great beyond. On the other side, that's really well done.
Yeah, that's a great little start here for HeroMarine. Of course, Rhett still has quite a lot of drones himself, and there is actually 7 queens out and about at the moment to try and stave this off. But he has no detection! No detection down towards here. The Spore Crawler is scrambling around. He's going to have to burrow himself quickly, but he's already losing still more workers.
Oh man, that's so unfortunate for Red that he clicked on that one mineral patch. If he clicks on one of the other ones, then they probably won't queue up like that. I felt that was one of the only 2 patches that would have actually been hit. Oh my god, so many workers have died already.
I didn't realize when workers die on this map, they don't even have blood. They just have a little party sprinkle come out of them. But there you go.
German StarCraft, no blood.
Yeah, I guess so. Guess so.
19 drones have died. Just take a look at Control R right now and just see how effective HeroMarine has been. He has killed 23 units, has lost absolutely nothing yet.
Nope. Doesn't want to be losing Banshee there, and the Hellions have been staved off in the back. So 1,250 resources lost to 0. You pointed it out just before. That is crazy numbers. 2 siege tanks have been made for HeroMarine, and he is looking to really put on pressure with this.
This is a super old scoop, man.
Yeah.
This has been going great for him because Red has lost so much. He's going to see this, I guess, but does it even matter? Like, he's not going to have Baning speed. The only thing he will have is 1-1 upgrades, and he has a bunch of queens. Killing those Banshees would be a really great start for the fight. Red is going to work on his own rocks now because he wants to potentially, you know, get a great engagement on this army. But just look at the army supply. 81 against 47, and it's a 1-1 push as well. This has really been a great setup all along for HeroMarine. He got the harass that he probably couldn't have even dreamed of. Oh my god, this might actually be the beginning of the end here for Red.
Yeah, this could be Marine's opportunity to push himself into Premier finally after 5 seasons in Challenger of trying to hold on. Banelings need to morph in very quickly, but these 2 siege tanks are going to cause a big problem. One of the Banshees already went down there. 2 a Spore Crawler. The Spore Crawler is going to die though. Link's going to wrap him from that.
Stimmed a lot. HeroMarine stimmed a lot.
The cleanup, the brilliant moving with the Zerglings from the back. Thanks to opening up those rocks has stopped it for now.
It's not over yet, and there's still that Banshee that's raining down, picking up Banshees. There is another tank moving in as well, but let's not forget, HeroMarine is on 2 bases. He still has a massive army supply advantage, but he has to be very careful. If that goes wrong one more time, then suddenly Red is in an absolutely phenomenal position.
He needs another flank. But obviously, HeroMarine is going to wait for a second tank to get here and then slowly push himself forward. Red needs another flank to try and make this work, because right now the pre-split is beautiful and it'll slowly get closer.
Still a lot of creep tumors there as well. That's going to give Red some creep later on.
Oh, but here he's moving forwards now. The Marine's slowly getting closer towards it. That siege tank is actually in range.
Coming from the south side.
And he needs to make this happen. Bailey's going to come in from there as well. But again, the pre-split is so good. He's going to try and stim up on this right-hand side, deny these Banelings from doing much. They get themselves a connection, but is it going to be enough? The links and Banelings from the right as well, and I don't know if it's going to work. There's so many Marines left over.
I think this time it's not going to be enough, and it may be finally HeroMarine's time to make an appearance in WCS Premier League. He failed 4 times in Challenger, but this time with a pretty damn cool build over here on Bridgehead. And really just playing to the strength of this map as well. GG, well played.
GG, and what it means for HeroMarine to finally get rid of that Challenger curse that he has had. 4 series of being stuck in Challenger. He makes it through in the 5th against LiquidRet, no less, and he upsets the Liquid clean sweep. They are now 2 for 3 here in Challenger on day number 1.
Yeah, this has been a really fun series, and obviously it's a great moment in HeroMarine's career. He's still a young player. He's been around for a long time. So on a certain moment, it starts getting kind of old that he's a young player.
Yes.
But he's still a young player. Like, he just has so much in front of him. For Legacy of the Void, there's a very good chance that if he keeps on playing, that he's going to be one of those absolute European powerhouses that will always be there, maybe even always makes it to quarterfinals, semifinals when it comes to European tournaments. So it kind of felt like his career got skyrocketed early on and then kind of stagnated for a little while, and now he finally takes that huge leap forward to making it into Premier League, and that's very nice to see.
Exactly. It's one thing to win national tournaments.
Yeah.
It's one thing to prove yourself on the international stage. And there, getting into Challenger, that's definitely one of the biggest results of his entire career so far.
No, without a shadow of a doubt. Like winning the EPS Meisterschaft, or you know, that's great, and that is obviously something a lot of the German players dream of as well. You always see, you know, the best players of your country play in that national league, and then you want to do it and you want to compete in it. And once you do that, you want to win it. And once you do that, that feels great, and that's a great sense of achievement. But then you want to prove yourself on the international stage, and it was obviously a huge, you know, burden, maybe even on his shoulders as well, that he just did not make it. And those things go into your mind as well. You know, first time you just hope for the best. Oh, it didn't work. Well, maybe second time it's like, oh, it didn't work again. Third time's the charm, right? And if it then doesn't work, and then the 4th time, then at a certain point it starts going in your mind and drives yourself crazy. Like, will I ever qualify for Premier League? Jesus, you know. And now he finally did it. So.
It's great. It's great for him. So congratulations to HeroMarine for qualifying. No doubt we'll see Rhett back in 2016.
Red will never leave.
He's the eternal warrior.
Yes, he is, man.
He'll be around for a long time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go to one final break. And when we are back, it is going to be Series 5 here of the World Championship Series Challenger. It will, of course, be Showtime going up against Naniwa.